The other techniques that I wanted to go over today are the pushing and the pressing. Pushing and pressing are really fundamental techniques in all forms of body work. And these techniques in particular, if you use different tools, they have very different effects. Okay, so with pushing, the line between rubbing and pushing might seem to be kind of fine, but pushing, yeah, pushing is different from rubbing in the sense that you are introducing some degree of pressure. Like I'm pressing into her body now, and then I'm adding a vector to it. So typically pushing has to be a little bit slower because you need to have that contact and put that pressure down into the patient's body. So right now I'm just doing this with my palms, putting pressure down and then adding a vector to it. Okay. Now, if you were to, the thing about pushing is that you can only do it effectively with your palms when the patient has clothes on. If you start adding too much of a penetrative force and you're pushing, you're gonna kind of damage their clothes or something. So usually the more penetrative types of pushing, you have to have the patient's back exposed and use some kind of a liniment or something like that. Okay. But is everybody sort of clear about what I mean by pushing? This is the pushing that is TUI from Tuina. Okay. Again, to distinguish it, it's the addition of some degree of pressure plus a vector, like a pushing in a direction.
So is a lot of the pressure then on the heel of your hand or throughout?
In this, it's probably more on the heel. Although you can. That's the other thing. Even though I talk about the palm as though it's just one thing, you can use various parts of the palm. Okay, most people use this thenar eminence, but you can also use more like the edge of the hypothenar eminence on this side. That's one thing. I guess that's one thing that makes this kind of an art as well, is that you can experiment with different tools in different ways to get the effect that you want to. Okay, so just don't restrict yourself to thinking like, oh, I'm going to use the palm, so I have to use the flat of the palm. You can just.
If somebody has like a really scoliosis right here, but a really more exaggerated one. Like some people have a little bit, but they've got a really more extreme one. Like sometimes you see in X-rays where they have the ones that are kind of like that.
Okay. Yeah, that gets into an interesting topic. How do you think you would address something like that?
Because I was thinking if you get too close to the vertebra, it might be really uncomfortable or painful for them.
Yeah. Okay, when I'm doing this, if they have a scoliosis, then I guess it would be better to follow the muscles, not just go straight up and down. And that's a good point. When we're doing any of our techniques, especially these more longitudinal techniques, as much as possible, don't just go up and down, but try to feel, I guess, the contours of the body and follow them. And in some cases, like if a person has scoliosis, that might mean that you have to, curve the line. Okay.